I want to ask you a question. What is stopping you from moving better, feeling better, and living better? Think about that for a second. What is it? I am so excited to launch this podcast to be able to help you do just that. The goal here is to learn how to treat your mind and body like a professional athlete. Welcome to Mind Your Body. I'm Dr. Audrey Lance. I'm a doctor of chiropractic who specializes in treating sports and non-surgical injuries, anything that involves muscles and joints. I treat big-name celebrities and professional athletes. Most of my patients refer to me as the witch doctor because they can't explain any other way their pain was removed that quickly. I hate cooking, but I do love wine. And don't even think about giving me anything that involves ketchup because I will not eat it. Every episode of this show is designed to help you move better, live better, and feel better. Now let's go do this thing. We're doing this. Oh my gosh. This has been a while in the making. I've had patients for years tell me, you should write a book, you should do a podcast. And it never resonated with me. But the past few months, I've just been like, oh my gosh, I have something to share and say, and I can help so many more people, which has always been the goal, to help people feel better. And frankly, I'm a little tired of sitting on the sidelines, seeing everyone. I mean, medical doctors, fitness influencers, chiros, dentists, social media influencers sharing some bad information that's not right. And none of us are perfect. We're all going to get it wrong. But if I could be one of those ones sharing good information, then I should do it. Once again, help more people. Also, I think there's something that's not talked about enough, which is why the podcast is named Mind Your Body. It's not only just physical of healing an injury, increasing performance, dealing with chronic pain, wanting to heal in so many different aspects. But there's also a huge mental component, and it's all linked together, physical and mental. And we just need to talk about all of it. Because if you're going into treatment and you're like, I don't like this doctor, I don't want to do this, we're not going to do this, and it's just a terrible attitude, you're setting yourself up for failure. So I want to help you figure out how to get not only your body right, but your mind right with the treatment too. So just to give it to you straight also and factual information, I'm probably going to do some of these from my car. It's just going to be so fun. I'm going to give you clinical evidence-based advice. So stuff I've seen in practice, what I've seen work, what I've seen not work, from the research, what we're learning at seminars that so many smart people are teaching. And there's so many people out there. I feel like sometimes people feel defeated and like no one cares. There's so many doctors and professionals and fitness, whatever aspect of healthcare you're talking about, that care, that want to help you. I always played doctor as a kid with my Barbies and my stuffed animals, even my dog. I was one of those kids who had strep throat all the time. So I was in the doctor's office all the time. And I just thought it was so cool to help people. And I wanted to be able to do that. So from a young age, I knew I wanted to be some kind of doctor. I didn't know what. Fast forward, we'll keep the story short. In chiropractic school, trying to figure out, okay, which way do I want to go? How do I want to specialize? Who do I want to treat? And I decided I wanted to work with professional athletes and singers and celebrities and stuff. And people are like, okay, that's kind of a man's world. Like, what are you doing? It's like, okay, I mean, cool. But I can hang with the boys. I love giving shit, taking shit, joking around, having fun. I was like, I think I can do it. I have something to offer. But I also love everything, women's health, I just wanted a little blend, you know. So on top of that, I did not want to stay in the cold, not want to move back to the cold and gray. I knew from a young age I was going to move south. So I pick a spot after going to a seminar here in Nashville, Tennessee. Woo woo. Pack up my little car at the time, sell everything, drive down, bawling the entire time because I'm scared to death. I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know anyone. Well, I knew one person, but they moved 2 weeks after I got there. Shocking. But I was like close with. So how am I going to do this? I've never started a business. And yes, I'm so grateful to be surrounded by so many mentors and people that would help give me advice, but I still had to do it and figure it out. So drive to Nashville, and I actually get on care.com and got a babysitting job. Yes, a doctor who got on care.com to babysit because I was like, I need some kind of income until I start my practice. I have nothing coming in. I mean, I'm used to living on ramen at this point, but I was like, how am I going to pay my bills? So get a little nannying job. And then I also babysat on the weekends too. Meanwhile, I have this awesome business plan that I even had down to the pens, how much they would cost. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go to this bank. Everyone's going to be like, wow, you put in so much work. Look at your attitude. Like, you're pumped. We're going to give you a loan. Well, little did I know. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're going to be so successful. Like, we can tell, but we can't give you any money. I heard that 11 times. And I was like, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. Even though, you go to the car and you cry and you're like, oh my God, maybe I'm not going to be able to do this. Finally, got a loan, started up. Well, it took a while, the whole process of starting a business, all the things. Anywho, and I just kept pushing forward and I was like, I can do this. And I kept learning and, you have your breakdowns, but you pick yourself up and you keep going. Fast forward, I have my own practice and it's growing and we're helping so many people in Nashville, from kids to teenagers in sports, to moms and dads, to CrossFitters, to runners, to any kind of athlete, you name it. And guess what? I'm treating professional athletes and singers and celebrities. I'm doing it. I'm doing the damn thing. So exciting. So surreal. Wow, pinch me. Speaking of that, I was having a conversation with one of my athletes this fall, and he was asking my story, and I was telling him some sort of version like that, maybe longer, maybe shorter. And I'm like, I just love my job. I'm so grateful every day. And sometimes I just want to go, why me? Why do I get to do this? I get to change so many lives in such even a short amount of time. You don't even realize the influence you have on people. Like even smiling at the coffee person or telling them you like their nails. I've seen people cry before when I've done that, but I mean, I genuinely mean it. Like tell people what you think. Tangent. We're going to have a lot of those. My husband calls it changing lanes without signaling. But we're going to go back into the lane, back to this conversation with the athlete. And I said, I am so like, why me? Pinch me. Like this seems surreal. And I looked at him and I was like, do you feel like that? Like you're at the top. You're incredible. And kind of looked at me and his eyes got wide. And he's like, not really. He's like, I deserve this. I've worked my ass off. And that like punched me with a ton of bricks. And I'm like, that's fucking it. That mindset of I'm going to work my butt off. And with that, I deserve the good things that come to me. Do you feel those goosebumps? I do. I still, even talking about it to this day, and I've told this story a few times since then. And that is just how to get your mind like an athlete. Whatever you want to work towards, and it's going to be work. Fixing that sprained ankle, healing that low back you've had for 5 years. I wish I could just wave the little wand and it would be gone. But most likely, even if you get out of pain pretty quickly, you have to address those compensatory movement patterns that have been faulty for years that have led you to this moment. Whether you want to increase your sprint speed, it is going to take work. You can apply that to every avenue of life. But when the good things happen, or you get out of pain, or you're able to sprint faster, or you're able to do a plane ride without having low back pain, you deserve it. It's okay to realize you deserve it. And that's something I have been working on myself ever since that conversation. So I wanted to share that with you. And that's what we're going to talk about on this podcast. So many things. We're going to talk about injuries. I'm going to answer some of your questions. We're going to talk about clinical cases. It's going to be like what I told my husband when we were first dating for a few weeks. I had some little blonde moment or whoopsie, and he just kind of looked at me and I shrugged my hands and I said, welcome to the roller coaster. It's my life. Hop on. And he hasn't hopped off since. So we're going to do a little roller coaster. So whatever I feel like y'all need to hear, what you DM me, we're going to have some guests of important topics. It's just going to be so fun, so real, and pretty quick, unless we have some guests that we need to dive deep. I'm not going to waste your time. Time is valuable. It's one of the most valuable things we all have. But you deserve to move better, live better, and feel better. I would love for you to hop on over on Instagram and DM me and say hi, and we'll get to know each other. If you have any questions, feel free, or subjects that you want me to talk about, feel free to slide them into that DM machine. Also, I want you to try something right now. This has become like a signature cue I use with people, and it's just so funny because we're all still 5 years old and laugh at funny things, right? Are you even breathing right now? Or are you holding your breath? I noticed a few months ago, I was working on patients and I was holding my breath the whole time because I think I'm like, oh, so excited. Let's go. We can fix you. Oh my God, I'm thinking, I'm listening to you. We're doing this, we're doing that. And I'm like, I'm not even breathing. And I started talking to people like this about this more and more and more. And something else I noticed is everyone's just clenching your abs, clenching your butt together. Take a second and breathe. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose. Oh my gosh. And now this next breath, as silly as it may sound, I want you to inhale. Think of inhaling into your butthole. You can't clench. Your hips automatically unclench. Your abs and back automatically relax. And exhale and relax. So that is all for now. So breathe into your butthole and toodaloo.
Now, if you want to do something really special for me and got a lot out of this episode, go leave a 5-star written review of the show on Apple Podcast. And if you're a Spotify listener, just tap the 5 stars. To submit any of your health questions to the show, simply DM me on Instagram at Dr. Audrey Lance. And don't worry, all your questions will be kept strictly anonymous. So send me all your embarrassing questions. And don't forget, breathe into your butthole. Toodaloo!